right, so here we are in Washington, D.C., and we have invaded the house of Cava. Once again, I came here a few years ago, had a chance to sit down with you and your partners, and really was I fell in love with the brand. And, so a couple of years later, we've looked back, and you guys, of course, have all grown up now and done some things that are pretty amazing. Brett Schulman, thanks for taking some time with us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah. So Brett, before we get started, you're an investment banker. So how does investment banking work with Mediterranean fast casual?
Yeah, so my friends say I was a little crazy, but in the investment banking world, I spent about 10 years in finance, and it was great, but really kind of felt unfulfilled in terms of what was I building, what was I creating every day. And originally left to help my wife with her business, but fate would have it, introduced me to Ted, Ike, and Dimitri, who were the original founders of the original Cava restaurant.
Right.
Me and the guys hit it off, and we talked about taking components from both our full-service properties and our dips and spreads that we sold in Whole Foods, and putting it in this health-based fast casual format, which became Cava Grill.
Yeah. And this is one of what I think is one of the more interestingly designed fast casuals. Just the whole feel, the touch points, everything just kind of works. So, I mean, a few years ago, maybe just as short as 3 or 4 years ago, investment banking, venture capital, private equity, all of those types of companies would have probably shied away from something that wasn't quite, moved into a multi-unit model that had maybe a dozen units or so.
Sure.
Do you feel like the landscape has really changed a lot now in the investment community, looking at fast casual?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the space has really become on everyone's radar for a multitude of reasons. I think, when you look at some of the early businesses like Chipotle that really set the trend and kind of proved a really successful business model, and also really started to shift the paradigm of food service and quick food service, and the way the quality and freshness of bringing it into a fast format. And they're seeking out better quality options, and they're seeking out to understand where their food's coming from, and the transparency of not only where their food comes from, but how it's made. And so I think there's a huge opportunity for a number of people to help as this shift grows, and to bring a fresher product to folks.
All right, so let's talk about kind of the process, for our viewers and operators who, they're starting their brand, or maybe they've got a young fast casual that's in the process now. What was it like for you guys to, kind of take on major investment? I mean, because this is a pretty, for you guys, a bi-coastal chain now with concepts in LA. What was that process internally with? Was it easy? A lot of late nights and kind of thinking, do we do this? Do we not do this?
A lot of fireside chats with Ted, Ike, and Dimitri, kind of heart to hearts on, again, philosophically, who is going to be a great partner and support, and kind of view long term how we wanted to really grow Cava. Because not only to myself, being a co-founder of Cava Grill, but to Ted, Ike, and Dimitri, who founded this with one restaurant and maxed out credit cards and their family's carpentry skills. I mean, Cava, we like to say it's a culture, not a concept. So who is going to be our kind of partner along this journey to ensure the integrity of what we're doing, and take this to where we all believe it can go?
All right, so let's talk about what you're going to do with this cash. You guys have got a couple of restaurants on plan for Los Angeles?
Yeah, we've got a few in development in Los Angeles, and some more in the DC area. And then it will also help our growth. We do have our sister business that's part of Cava Grill, that's our Cava Foods business, where we now distribute our dips and spreads that we produce from Richmond all the way through New York City, and we're now in Whole Foods in the Midwest, in Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, and other Midwest cities. So again, this is all to help us bring on the team to help us execute this, as well as build new stores.
Well, we've talked about this on our shows, is that no matter, even though you put the 600-700 fast casual concepts that are out there, most of these guys, 90% of them are under 10 units.
Right.
So even that, is still not equating, maybe 1/10 or 1/20 or 1/4 of the QSR space as it is today in terms of locations.
Right.
So it's not like it's just going to completely move in and take over a QSR element, but it seems like there's a tremendous upside for this in terms of growth.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a huge market and a huge opportunity that I think that's why you're seeing so many different brands trying to be a part of that.
Right.
And that there is as much competition that's coming in this space, there's still plenty of room for a lot of growth of a lot of different brands.
Yeah. That kind of brings me to a question, and that is franchising.
Yeah.
So Chipotle doesn't franchise. Starbucks is doing license deals, but no franchising. Your competitor down the street, Sweet Greens, another farm, homegrown, corporate-owned kind of approach. Do you find that franchising is necessarily the route or not the route these days, or do you kind of think it's just depends on the guy?
Yeah, I think it depends on the brand. For us, we're really focused on corporate-owned growth. We invest heavily in our stores. We believe a lot in our physical space. We love design. We love not just our food, but a great experience. And obviously, our food's got to be great, but it's also the environment that it's served in. And so we're also pretty obsessive about our brand, and we want to make sure that the quality and integrity is controlled by us and make sure that that's maintained. And so I don't know that our model could necessarily appeal or fit to a franchisee type investor or operator. So not to say that can't work for someone else, it's just we're really focused on corporate growth, and we believe that for our value proposition and for our offering that makes the most sense.
Yeah, and keeping it, and I see the track with keeping it under control in terms of quality level. So I think with fast casual, it seems like brands, because there's so much competition coming in from so many angles, man, if you make a misstep, you could hurt yourself pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So a franchise could do that just by not intentionally, but
right. But inherently, you have less control, and I think it's a great point. I mean, with all the different options coming or competition coming in the space, people have many options, and people are very discerning, and they're not going to stand for subpar quality.
Right.
And you can have a customer for months, and if you give them a couple subpar experiences in a row, you can lose them. It's all it takes.
That's man. It's fun to be in the restaurant business, right?
I know. That's why we were like, wait, you went from finance to restaurant business, but it's a lot of fun. And
I love it.
I think the real fun is seeing our team grow with us and seeing the people that started out at our first store with us now having the upward mobility as we open more stores, and in operations we need regional managers and corporate ops, and that's what gets us jumping every day.
Absolutely. Hey Brent, it's always nice to sit down with you guys, and now especially that you've kind of catapulted into what is a national brand here at Cava, so congratulations.
Thanks.
On your
we still have a lot of work to do, but we're excited about it. Thanks.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, so signing off here from On Foodable. Make sure and catch our next feature right here on foodabletv.com.